What is the demographic in the world that has the highest percentage of Christians? The demographic in the world that has the highest percentage of Christians.
Okay, I've heard of this so many times of like, I'm not homophobic. I have gay friends. I'm not racist. I have black friends. Like, I've heard that way too many times, and I'm like, quit, because growing up in a very evangelical, ultra-conservative environment that definitely teaches that all lust is wrong. You have to have sex before marriage. I'm like, every time I've heard, of somebody being like, I'm gonna save myself for marriage. 9 months later, bam, they end up getting they have a child, and it's kind of sad because they realize that it's not completely wrong. They need to be safe about it. And I feel like we need to at least be understanding. We need to, I think a lot of Christians definitely have this problem where they are judging. Well, a lot of them judge. They're like, a lot of them are just fake, honestly. And I've been in a lot of different circles. And out of all of them, I would say the Christian small groups.
Yeah.
Probably I met some of the most toxic people were in it. Some of the fakest people I have ever met were in Bible small groups who claimed they were exactly a lot of the same stuff you said, but a lot more extreme, I would say, compared to I personally think that what comes to mind. I personally think that I think we should all be equal. I'm more of a live and let live person.
Good.
Have your own beliefs, but just don't put it into federal law. That's when I have a problem.
Sure.
That's what a lot of the conservative Christians do. A lot of them are like, well, I'm like, I want to stop abortion, but yet they restrict our access to birth control, proper sex education, which is the only way really is proper sex education, really. Educate ourselves. Abstinence does not work.
All right, let me ask you something. Are you going to allow a hypocritical Christian to turn you off to the true Jesus Christ who did not have a hypocritical bone in his body? Are you going to give a hypocritical Christian that kind of power to turn you off to the true Christ who did not demean anybody? Instead, in Matthew chapter 23, he uses the word hypocrite 6 times to describe religious teachers. So Christ hated hypocrisy because it's lying about yourself. And it sounds like you hate hypocrisy also. Bravo.
Yeah.
So don't allow a Christian hypocrite to turn you off to the true Christ.
I mean, a lot of these hypocritical Christians are the reasons why I basically became an atheist not atheist, agnostic.
Right.
Which, I mean, sort of the same umbrella, not really, but the thing is that a lot of these people, I've noticed, I've never met, I used to be around these people like you that would be like, people in my hometown, we had pastors, we did not have Young Life, we had Palm Valley Church, which is I'm from the Rio Grande, and it's super, massive. All the people in it, me and my sister, I was literally at first I was like, some of these people are fake as hell, but I want it, but I still...
All right, let me ask you something. What is the demographic in the world that has the highest percentage of Christians? The demographic in the world that has the highest percentage of Christians?
I would say probably America, but
no,
that number is...
not even close.
Which one is it?
The demographic that has the highest percentage of Christians in the world is women of color. Second question, what's the demographic in the United States that has the highest percentage of Christians?
White people?
Nope, not even close. Black women. That is the demographic in the United States that has the highest percentage of Christians.
Where are you getting your facts from?
I'm getting my facts from Rebecca McLaughlin, who went to Oxford and Cambridge and is here in the United States. She used to be lesbian. Now she's a follower of Christ. She's an absolutely brilliant woman.
But you can't.
I'm getting my facts. Let me answer the woman's question. I'm getting my facts from a sociology professor at the University of Connecticut who I have met with, and we've talked about it. The demographics, you just study it. The demographic with the highest percentage of Christians in the world is women of color. And the demographic in the United States that has the highest percentage of Christians are black women.
Oh, wait.
Like it or not, those are the demographics.
Okay. I have a quick question. What kind of community has the highest amount rates of teen pregnancy? What demographic has the highest rates of divorce?
I don't know. Tell me.
Conservative evangelicals. I've noticed like a lot of people, divorce is so taboo, but a lot of people still do it anyways because it's like, but in my opinion, it's just disgusting. Like,
so does that tell you anything about Jesus Christ, or does that tell you a lot about those people?
Those people, maybe not Jesus.
Yeah, okay.
Not we all can't be Jesus. I'm like, trust me, if I said I'm perfect, I'm this, I'd be lying. If I said, oh, I have it, I'm righteous, I'm a virgin, I've never had sex, I would be lying. I would obviously be lying.
So what's your point?
My point is, obviously, people like you, I've seen people like you, like, there are people that'll be like, something like, they're vampire whores all over this campus, you need to be careful. They will, don't ever take a girl to a Mexican restaurant, she will grab on to your penis. Or something like, oh, I'm from Blanco, I'm a righteous man, I'm all godly, and then they'll have these like really disgusting pictures of something really graphic of like abortion, something like something like the Westboro Baptist Church, I would say, or something like, or having people. So I'm honestly tired of people that claim to be Christian treating us like animals, like we're a bunch of like we're a bunch of animals that have no morals. They treat us like we're pieces of we're just a bunch of animals with no morals whatsoever, and all we do is drink, smoke, go to orgies and all, and everyone. That may be true for some people, but not all of us. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. However, people like that, I've noticed people like y'all, people like your kind, like, not you specifically.
Thank you, because I love you and respect you. So what are you talking about?
You're not even not as bad, but I'm still getting that energy of, you all are sluts and whores and faggots. What the f?
All right, and I still love you and respect you. So what's your point?
The point is, we are at Texas State, we are an inclusive community, and we're tired of people that are claiming to be, that people coming to our campus, we're all slut, like, oh.
Well, have I said that to you?
No, but you're
good. Thank you.
You're implying it, and you're implying that all women of color agree with you. Which
no, I did not say that.
What about?
I said study the demographics. The demographic in the United States that has the highest percentage of Christians is black women. And the demographic in the world that has the highest percentage of Christians is women of color.
Well, black
in other words,
Catholics.
In other words, I'm sorry that you've been exposed to white Christian hypocrites.
Not just white.
But what you need to understand is the vast majority of Christians do not live in the great US of A. The vast majority of Christians today live in Africa, South America, and Asia. Sorry, guys. Christianity is not the great Western religion. Far more followers of Christ today in Africa, South America, and Asia than in the state of Texas and the whole United States and
Yeah.
Western Europe.
America, so we have to experience.
I mean, I have a choice. I can.
What?
We live in America. We can't experience the Asian Christians, any of those countries you're talking about. The American Christians are not the best. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that's
America-
true.
All right,
Yeah,
fine.
a
But
lot
then
of-
wait a second. The point is, read the Gospels. Find out for yourself about how Jesus lived,
What if you have?
what he taught, how he died, and how he rose from the dead. Check out Jesus Christ, not how he's been misrepresented by Christians. Okay, now why would Trey, an African American, believe in Jesus in light of the way his forefathers and foremothers were treated? Did I hear you say brainwash?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of the.
Whoa, time out.
It's because a lot.
No. This woman said brainwashed.
Like,
Trey, are you brainwashed?
she-
Of course he's not going to do. Nobody who's brainwashed is going to say yes.
Yeah.
I'm being brainwashed.
No
That's
one
exactly what
does,
it
like,
is.
I see.
Like we need.
But do you know Trey?
I don't know.
No.
Well, then why would you ever say what you just said?
I mean-
that a man who you don't know is brainwashed. Why would you ever be so judgmental?
I mean the reason.
No. I'm asking her. Come on, man. You're the one who said it. Let's go. You said Trey is brainwashed. You don't know Trey? But you've said he's brainwashed. I asked him, are you brainwashed? He said no. I've also talked with him today already. And obviously, from my conversation with him, he's got his own mind, he thinks for himself, and he's not a Christian because of colonialism. So why would you say that Trey is brainwashed?
Because
What's
I
your
would
agenda?
say any Christian is brainwashed.
Really?
Any Christian's
They use
brainwashed.
scare tactics.
Okay.
Any.
Sir,
Good.
you use scare tactics. We're burned in hell forever. We'll be separated from everyone we love. It's scare tactics.
Hell, I'd rather
being
go-
brainwashed.
No,
I'd
wait
rather
a
go to
second.
hell, honestly. Sounds way more spending like being bored as than being like, where's the heaven party?
All right, well, you
Where's
and I
the
should
he-
make a deal.
Of
You and I make a deal. You just put your faith in Christ, and throughout heaven and eternity, you won't have to see me. Okay, I'll stay at the other side of heaven. Okay, so you don't have to mess with me. Okay.
no promise.
So just put your faith in Christ and go to heaven. Okay, but it's going to be a lot better than the alternative.
Wow.
But ma'am, I'm afraid that you have bought into a line of thinking that is really scary.
Oh, I agree
You
with you.
do not
Yeah.
know this guy, and yet you stand out here and say he's brainwashed. Wow. Where are you getting off? That's incredible. That is so judgmental. I think that you've bought into, and if I'm not mistaken, have there been any professors who have influenced that thinking?
No, God no.
Good. Then why would you say that this man is brainwashed?
I believe I already answered the question.
I would say a
No,
lot.
you haven't. Answer the question.
I
would
didn't
say-
ask me that question.
I didn't ask you. Please let her speak. You've had lots of time to speak. She gets to speak also, you know. Go ahead.
I said because you use scare tactics.
Scare tactics?
Yes, we've already.
Okay.
This is.
Has anybody scared you into believing in Jesus? Okay. Nobody's scared Trey, and I can promise you nobody's scared me into believing in Jesus. And I can promise you, every African American member of the church that I pastor up in Connecticut, none of them have been scared into believing in Jesus. And I can promise you, when I went to Haiti, my friends in Haiti were not scared into believing in Jesus. They experienced the love of Christ, the truth of Christ, and they put their faith in him. And I can promise you, ma'am, it is so elitist for you as a white woman to stand here and say a black man and all those
Don't say
Haitians
against him
who
like
believe in
that.
Jesus Christ have been
No,
scared into
no.
believing in Jesus. That is so incredible, it's scary.
You turned a simple argument into a racist point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
absurd.
What
This
that
is my
young
best
lady was
friend
trying
right
to
here. Are
say
you
to
kidding
is
me?
that
What?
the reason that you tell people to believe in Jesus, not saying that I do or don't,
Yeah.
is that they will go to hell if they do not. So
No, I did
that
not
is-
say that.
No, because
that's
not what they say.
All right, wait. Let's use conversation, right?
Yeah.
So if you believe in Jesus,
Right.
you go to Jesus for what? Salvation?
Well, for-
To be delivered, for your joy, for your happiness, to go to a place to better your circumstances, your life, your soul, whatever that is,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Which means we are college students.
Yeah.
We have minds.
Yep.
The lack of, if you do not go down that route, means that you will not get those things, right? So if you're trying to sell me a dream, then you're telling me if I don't believe you or follow you or believe what you believe, then I will not reap the benefits of, or that I will never be able to ascend to, or have the opportunity to acquire the things that you say I should have.
Yes. Similarly, if you don't study, if you flunk, you will flunk out of this place. It's not a scare tactic. It's called reality.
It is a scare tactic.
Similarly, now who's interrupting me? Will you please just relax, buddy? I'm talking to
Relax.
him. Similarly, I'm going to plead with you. Do not play in traffic on I-35. Because if you end up on the bumper of a Mack truck, it's over for you. So please don't play in traffic on I-35. Not because that's a scare tactic, but because that's reality. Similarly, if I lived my life together with God, I'll spend eternity together with God. But if I live my life separate from God, I'm going to spend eternity separate from God. Not a scare tactic, it's reality. That's all we're claiming.
I would also say maybe use better, not to tell you how to think, but I guess the examples are very extreme, right? Go run in traffic. How about go play basketball? You'll break your leg, or you'll make a basket. Go freaking fishing. Maybe you'll fall in the lake. Maybe your boat will sink. Maybe it won't.
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of things, or a lot of in-betweens.
Yes.
So I don't think we should have to deal with extremes, and it can make the conversation a little easier not to go for either side, but to have a better conversation to where you could understand each other.
You bet.
Yeah.
Well, I can promise you, I have to deal with reality. And as a pastor, I have to deal with birth and death.
Right.
I have no choice.
My father was a pastor, so I mean, I could have
So
a
you know.
conversation with you all day.
You know. So, I have to deal with reality.
Sure.
And I have to deal with a question, because I perform funerals on a regular basis.
Okay.
Is there life after death or not?
No one knows, because we're alive.
Jesus Christ died. 3 days later, Jesus Christ rose from the dead. Over a period of 40 days, Christ appeared to over 500 people who saw him risen from the dead.
Also
Jesus
in the
said,
Bible,
And
in
how
the
about
Bible,
the
wait,
fantasy
y'all. In the Bible,
Like, how do we
he is found by Mary, right? Mary and his mother.
a woman.
A woman. But it also says in the Bible, but they were so afraid that they did not look into the cave that they ran away. So how can we take that as their word?
You bet. Because other people did go, like Peter and John. And they did go into the tomb, and they saw it was empty. Then not only that, over a period of 40 days, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 15, Christ appeared to over 500 people at different times, in different places, risen from the dead. Not only that, you got a bunch of Jewish people who put their faith in Christ, and they do something very naughty. They stop worshiping on the Sabbath. They start worshiping on Sunday.
Yeah,
Why?
but those aren't
In celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Sir, there is no way that you can run away from the historical evidence of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. That is not a scare tactic, sir. That's historical evidence.
So you're referencing
Yeah.
a book that you don't know who wrote it, you don't know how long
Yeah.
ago it was written, you know nothing about it.
Thank you.
not-
So man-made.
Hell, the
All
word
religions have a
homosexual.
book that they go off of. What makes Christianity the right thing?
Yeah.
Okay, good
How do we
question.
know if it's not Islam? Islam, Buddhism,
Christianity
Hinduism.
isn't automatically superior.
Yeah.
Because it's the white man's religion.
The only reason why is because people are brainwashed through colonialism. People
like,
are
we want to be Buddhist.
people in Africa are being exploited by these Christian fundamentalists, literally telling them, hey, they're being exploited. Honestly, I do not agree with missionary trips. I think it's just colonialism modern day, to be honest.
Yeah, I know
Because
exactly.
all it is just
They go
brain-
and take pictures with the little black children.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look
Like
what I
if-
did. I hope so much.
yeah, it's literally like they literally go like it's the zoo.
Would you rather just leave him there?
No, but you don't have to exploit what you did on Instagram
Yeah.
to get credit. Like, why are you sitting here saying that that's the only way to, like, a happy, eternal life? Like, what about the other religions? They're all based on a historical book, exactly like you're saying.
Yeah, so
Good.
what happens to people who aren't Christian? What
Yeah.
happens to them?
You say they go to hell?
Yeah.
I'm not the
Yeah.
judge.
What about those people that are like that literally grow up thinking like basically they grow up not even knowing what the hell it even is? What happens to them, huh?
The religion that you guys love so much is the same one that justified people taking Africans and bringing them as slaves. Christopher Columbus, all of those were Christians. And they said, oh, God, this is what God told me to do. God told me that this was okay, that slavery was okay. So, like, what? How's Christianity that? No.
Okay. A guy once said to me, Cliff, all I need to know about Islam is 9/11. Do you know why that's narrow-minded bigotry? Because 9/11 was committed by some people who claim to be Muslim, but it is not intellectually open-minded or honest for me to cross off Muhammad because of 9/11. Instead, I have to go to the Quran. I've got to read the Quran for myself and find out, what did Muhammad teach? How did he treat people? And then based on who Muhammad was, I need to make a decision. Is he reliable or not? For me, to reject Muhammad because of 9/11 is a narrow-minded, non-thinking
I'm
approach.
not saying I reject all Christians.
Similarly, to reject Jesus Christ because of slavery in the United States, the Crusades, the Inquisition, the Salem witch trials, is intellectually dishonest because Christ never called for any of that behavior. In fact, he called for the
So
opposite.
can you answer a question of mine?
I am.
No.
Very
different.
clearly, I'm answering you. I'm at pleading with you. Read the Quran if you want to find out about Muhammad. And I'm pleading with you, read the Gospels if you want to find out about Jesus. And don't use some Muslim fanatic or some Christian fanatic to turn you off to either Muhammad or Jesus. With an open mind, read the Quran, read the New Testament,
you a
and
Christian
find
fanatic?
out what does the evidence point to as being reliable. It's that simple. Now, how have I not answered your question?
I have a different question, and it was one I talked about earlier about what makes Christianity superior than the other religions.
It comes down to who is trustworthy. And I'm standing here saying the evidence of the way Jesus lived,
From what you studied,
from the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Other people have
And
done
I'm
studies
asking
and they
all of
have
you
different opinions.
not to take it from me. Go and read them for yourself and ask yourself, does the evidence point to Jesus being reliable or does it not? The scriptures clearly communicate that God created our sexuality for a purpose. And that purpose is, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother, be united to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. Genesis 2:24.
And you stand by that.
Yes.
So
Jesus stood by that, I stand by it.
it also says in the Bible you're not supposed to wear an outfit of two different cloths.
Yeah.
Like you're not, that doesn't apply. Why doesn't that apply?
Well, it's real important that you learn to read in context. The context that you're referring to is the book of Leviticus. And Leviticus is very clearly the law code, civil law code for the nation of Israel, which is a theocracy. And Moses is calling the Israelite people, God is calling the Israelite people, to be separate from the pagan nations around them. Now, why mixing cloth is not good? God is teaching them, I don't want you to intermarry with people who worship Baal, who worship Moloch, who worship Isis, like in Egypt. Instead, I want you to marry people who worship me, the living God. And so he paints a picture for them of clothing and says, we're not going to mix the two. Second point.
Would you still say that should apply today?
No,
So
clearly it doesn't. Therefore,
Jesus also says love thy neighbor a billion times. Like,
Yeah.
why can't you support your neighbor like that?
you better.
Yeah.
If you claim to be a follower of Christ, you better love your neighbor as
Like,
yourself.
You're not you don't have the same energy for same-sex couples.
That's not true. I love lesbians. I love homosexuals.
Hell yeah.
Why? Because they're human beings created in the image of God. And if you want to challenge me, go right ahead, but I'm sorry, ma'am. I've worked in a lot of prisons.
Okay.
I've worked with men who have murdered little boys after sexually molesting them and buried them.
Okay.
So I can promise you, when I try and follow Christ, I have no option but to love and respect all human beings, regardless of what ethical decision they've made. I have no option. I love and respect all people because I'm a follower of Christ, which means I have no option but to realize that all human beings, regardless of what they've done,
Yeah.
have value, dignity, and I am to respect them. And if I don't, I am not following Christ.
I agree with you.
I have a question about faith.
Yes.
So, you called it knowledge earlier because you know that God is God. You know that God is good. To folks like myself who are oh ye of little faith, I suppose you could say.
Sir, I don't think I said any of that. So,
Well,
okay.
I say.
You said it. Yeah, okay, good.
Oh ye of little faith.
Right.
Would you say that faith has an element of uncertainty to it, whether or not you are a follower of Christ, whether or not you are an agnostic or not?
Good question. Is there an element of uncertainty to almost every decision you make in life?
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's certainly the way I experience life. Anybody who says, I know everything, and it's all nailed down, and I'm positive, I think they've been probably drinking something I don't want to drink, or smoking something I don't want to smoke. If you get a PhD in biology, do you know everything there is to know about biology? No. If you do postdoc work in biology, do you know everything there is to know in biology? No. And my wife is here. Does she know everything there is to know about me? No. Do I know everything there is to know about her? No. We always have incomplete knowledge, but that does not mean that we cannot make wise decisions. Prove to me that Texas State is going to grant you a diploma on your day of graduation. You can't. On your day of graduation, Texas State could say, we're going to break tradition, no diplomas this year. It's possible. But the overwhelming evidence is that Texas State does not treat people that way. That is why you have devoted as much money, work, and time to getting a diploma from this fine university. That, sir, is faith. So, my definition of faith is evidence, not proof. Evidence of reliability plus commitment. Yesterday, sir, at JFK in New York City, when I stepped onto a hunk of metal, could I prove that that hunk of metal would fly me safely from New York City to Austin, Texas? No, sir. No proof. Was there overwhelming evidence due to the fact that I saw Boeing? Therefore, it was very wise of me to make a commitment and step onto that hunk of metal, trusting that hunk of metal to fly me through the sky safely to Austin. Yes, there was enough evidence. That's why I exercised faith, trusting that hunk of metal. That is good faith. Bad faith is, I believe because I believe. That is blind, naive faith. Don't go there. If Jesus Christ had been a crook, if Jesus Christ had been a hypocrite, if Jesus Christ had taught to hate people, I would not follow Christ. If Christ had not risen from the dead, I would not follow Christ. Due to his lifestyle, due to his death and then rising from the dead, I trust him because the evidence is he is trustworthy. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, as always, all day long, it's been an honor to talk with you. Your honesty, the way you think, I really respect and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You honor me and respect me by treating me that way. And I thank you.
I do try.
Well, you succeed.
Thank you.
So thanks. Thanks for sharing these few minutes with us. Stuart and I are two of the pastors at Grace Community Church in New Canaan, Connecticut. You can find out more about Grace Community Church by going to gracecommunity.info. Every Sunday morning we have a 9 o'clock service at St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Darien, Connecticut. It's right off exit 37 of the Merritt Parkway. And then we have a 10 o'clock service at Grace Farms, which is located at 365 Lukeswood Road in New Canaan, Connecticut. Hope you can join us this coming Sunday morning. Have a blessed day.